jungle affords such a rich experience. Perhaps the greatest thing mankind can do is to experience it through a visit or as a viewer, and live with the understanding that this place called Amazon is a catalyst of life on Earth. What you are about to see is the story of two people, one Canadian, one Brazilian, who had never set foot in Amazonia. The experience changed their lives. You will see what they saw, that what exists for a splendid few who choose to make this their home is a rich yet profoundly simple way of life. These people are perhaps closer to the experience of life than we can understand. They are living in the heart of Mother Nature, and her influence is felt each and every day.
Our flights into the Amazon took us over a large part of Brazil. We departed from São Paulo and caught the milk run to Manaus, so we stopped several times. Danny catches a cat nap while I study the amazing cloud formations over the rainforest. I spot a serpentine river snaking through the jungle, a tributary of the Amazon itself, I suspect. Soon we're landing again in yet another small city of Brazil, this time Porto Velho. Once in Manaus, we have a chance to get a taste of the city. The largest city on the Amazon, having a population of 1.5 million people, Manaus is situated 1,300 kilometers east of the Atlantic Ocean. It's a busy place, full of activity, excitement, and tourists, many who have traveled thousands of kilometers to have a close look at the extraordinary Amazon River. Before boarding our riverboat, we shop for a few items in the local outdoor market.
So, what do you think about Manaus, Greg?
I love it.
How about this for you? Aren't you needing a bathing suit?
For me?
Brazil.
For me.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Is that
Very small.
Is it man's?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
This is for men. This boys, right?
Little boys.
How about this, Greg?
Yeah, these are nice. I like this.
That's the front or the back? I think it's the back.
That's the back, yeah. That's the
so,
back.
And then?
All I can say is I'm looking forward to going to the beach.
Our riverboat is basic, yet seems small for 16 passengers. I questioned Chris on the length of the trip.
It's okay. Well, if we leave soon, we'll be there tomorrow evening, which is good. If we leave after 6, then we won't be there till the day after tomorrow.
Oh, really? Do we stop at night or you just
Just keep going. But if up in the Jauperi now with the water, the level it is, it's not easy to travel at night. So that's why I wanted to leave as early as possible today.
Right.
Time to go. 30 hours in a boat to get in our destiny. Very exciting.
Once aboard and under sail, we discover ample space to get comfortable and even find ourselves a little privacy when needed. The waters are a rich coffee color. We are told that the Rio Negro is a black water river system. Good news because mosquitoes don't breed in black water. The river appears enormous, and we enjoy smooth sailing all the way to our destination. Time is spent watching the river and the shoreline and contemplating the place to which we are headed, deep up the Amazon River to the Rio Negro, into the Jauperi River, ultimately destined for the XIXUAU. Danny talks with Plinio, one of our guides.
He's talking about beautiful scenes that happen in Amazon that he experienced with big fish, big snakes. We'll have a chance to, if we are lucky and pure inside with heart, we will be able to see a very special big animals.
There is something amazing about this river. As my camera looks for the answer to my amazement, Danny looks for new friends.
This is Tranquilinho! He's so cool! E aí, tá gostando da viagem?
Inspired by the epic movie Titanic, I think Danny is feeling like Queen of the Jungle. We enter a new area, a flooded forest. The boat slows to navigate these shallow waters. Soon we are full steam ahead and treated to a truly beautiful sunset, of Amazonian proportions. As we watch a group of caboclo paddle off into the light, our first day is coming to an end. I wake excited to discover where we've traveled to overnight, and catch Danny waking up with the same sense of reverence.
Good morning. You're getting inside of the Amazon. Tell me some things.
I feel a lot of life energy here. Like this jungle is teeming with energy of life form nature. I couldn't sleep last night because of it.
Do you guys like to play with the danger?
Nah, we're not doing stupid things.
No?
No. We know how it is here. You have to be careful, but you can do whatever you want.
These words sound strange when talking about the jungle, but we rest assured as Eric speaks with 15 years of travel experience in the Amazon. Soon our attention is back to the shore, the first signs of life after 100 kilometers of night and darkness. We see houses with families, local residents of the Amazon. Upon completion of our journey, we get our first glimpse of the camp of which we are to stay for 16 days. We find friendly faces, happy to see our arrival. The boat safely nestled in her berth. We have a chance to look around our new home. The camp is sparse, yet comfortable. Danny feels right at home, taking this time to get her feet planted back on solid ground by playing soccer with Julia. I explore a little and take a few long shots of what is surely the most peaceful place on Earth. As night falls, Chris and I head out to the Agapo, vast tracts of forest which for part of the year are flooded in this part of the Amazon. The trees have adapted to having their roots submerged for months, and indeed many of them await the arrival of the floodwaters before flowering and bearing their fruit. When this happens, the Agapo becomes populated by birds and animals, with the roots, logs, and leaf litter making an excellent feeding place for fish and other aquatic fauna. At night, the Agapo becomes an eerie world of mystery, possible to penetrate only in the small canoe. Rowing through this maze of trees in the dark of a tropical night is an electrifying experience. A flashlight makes it possible to distinguish the ghostly trees and branches, while the silence is constantly punctuated by movements through the foliage and by loud splashes in the water as fish, snakes, and caiman play their endless game of hunter and hunted. During the high water season, the local fishermen use the Agapo to spear the fish hiding in the roots and logs, although even they have to be careful not to penetrate too deeply, as the branches overhead make it impossible to navigate by the stars. This sense of jeopardy, together with the constant splashing of the caiman and the sights of jungle animals illuminated by the flashlight, make a night trip into the Agapo an unforgettable experience. The new day brings sunshine and smiles, thoughts of the wonders of nature, so abundant here in XIXUAU. Plinio administers shiatsu, while the rest prepare for breakfast. Today will be a day for fishing. On a 16-day trip to the Amazon, you will eat a lot of fish. However, with over 2,000 species known to the river, you won't suffer from lack of variety. Our Danish friends head out with all their gear. This is one of the rare occasions that a powerboat will be used. We are catching piranha today. Black piranha, to be exact. Delicious and dangerous. Piranha are best caught with chunks of fresh fish. Plinio prepares a hook to be baited with chum. The Danes cast their lines in the water with expensive rods and reels brought from home. Yet it is Shani who, with a simple hook, line, and sinker, catches the first fish.
Right.
A beautiful and ferocious black piranha. Fleming is not far behind, with a catch of his own.
Oh yeah.
Obrigado, Plínio.
Chris Clark on fishing with our Caboclo guides.
Here we are in the Paraná of the XIXUAU as Plínio and Manuel, famous XIXUAU fishermen, approach the boat and bypass us. Plínio seated in the back, smoking an Indian cigarette, while his companion Manuel bravely paddles through the forest. The water is very low and Manuel is looking for something to spear. He's picked up his spear. There must be a fish in the water. The harpoon quivers and moves into the undergrowth. It's a strike. We have a fish. Manuel proudly says he never makes a mistake, and the fish begins to emerge, splashing from the water. Oh yes. And Francisco is driving me into a tree here. Manuel fights with the fish in the water, making as much a show as he possibly can of this successful throw.
As Chris, Manuel, and Plínio head back to camp with their catch, Danny has already begun cleaning the piranha caught by our Danish companions. Danny is truly living the experience of Amazon every chance that she gets.
We are treating the fish, and she's teaching me how to do this with technique. E aí dentro? Faz a mesma coisa? Vem aqui, abre, pega a guelra.
Não, tem que,
Não, vai
tem que ticar. Você quer aprender a ticar?
O que ticar?
Isso aqui,
Ah,
ó.
quero. Ai! It's a little piranha with a little teeth. Tooth.
Kitchen prep is a happy time. Guides and guests coming together to prepare food harvested from the river and in the plots of land cultivated by our hosts.
De onde você tira essa alegria?
Meals are simple, yet taste especially delicious here in Amazon.
É de Deus?
Danny samples the delicious pan-fried fish cakes, which Ivanusi has prepared for this evening's meal.
Obrigada, linda.
We are going to João's house in the Casa da Farinha, the house of the flour. We are going to make flour.
Manioca is a root vegetable eaten as a staple in the Amazon and around Brazil. Harvest time is a family affair, with everyone doing their part. It's first washed to remove a toxic residue, and then brought up the hill to the grinder and firehouse. João shows Danny how it's done.
Roda, o motor roda, aí a gente, esses dentes aqui vai moendo a mandioca e cai a massa pra lá,
Ah, tá.
ok?
Running the raw vegetable through the grinder, he says, makes a wet pulp-like substance. João will make 50 kilos today, enough for 1 month. Lilia keeps the grinder running with fresh roots brought from below. She's a strong little girl with bright eyes and personifies the children of the XIXUAU.
That's a cool angle.
Once the root is ground to a wet pulp, it's gathered and put into a handcrafted device built to compress the manioca mash. Here it will stay overnight to allow the water to be slowly drained.
Lá dentro do coisa.
Or,
The next morning, once drained of its water, it's like a moist cake which needs to be broken up into smaller pieces. From here it will be fire roasted and made ready for eating and storage. Manioca is eaten with fish broth and over vegetables. It has a dry granular consistency and not too much flavor on its own, yet it adds another authentic element of the region to our stay. By the end of this routine event, we see happy faces and wonderful family ties. The caboclo express a deep family spirit. Their lives are as peaceful as the jungle is powerful, gently coexisting with the seasons and with the animals which share their home. Danny has found her way back to a nearby village and has made a new friend who points out all the colorful vegetables and flowers growing in his father's field. She's discovered an interesting use for the urucum seed.
So, with these seeds, the seeds of the urucum fruit, we can make something that calls colorau. Colorau. It's a mix. Regina knows how to make, and they put in food. It's just to color the food. It's not good for eat or something like that. It's good for sun cream, tan cream. So let's go play. Bye.
Back at camp, Danny and Julia share some playtime in the river. Completely safe, we enjoyed the river for a swim every day. Playing an underwater game of hide-and-go-seek, they entertained our shoreline companions.
That's good.
She went down deep there again.
Evening time is fantastically peaceful. Colors turn softer, and the water stills. Clouds form impressive shapes in the sky, preparing themselves to deliver a bit of moisture to the waiting jungle. It's a beautiful time to take a leisurely canoe ride and relax into the evening. Dinner is always highly anticipated. The food is so delicious here. Outdoor air and a day full of sunshine and adventure really stirs the appetite. Paulinho and Ivanusi are wonderful meal makers. Dinners are by candlelight and create a sense of even greater isolation from civilization. This occasion among new friends offers a time to share the adventures of the day and retell stories of yesteryear.
Last night, no, the night before I fell asleep.
No,
you 1 year ago, noticed you stumbled on a stingray in February last year. Not this.
It was Paul here.
Yeah,
A little.
Danny and Julia reunite after dinner to share a moment of art and friendship. From far off, we see a storm brewing. We hear the bellow of frogs, anticipating the rains which will come later tonight or tomorrow. This evening we are treated to a lightning display, vibrant and full, not often seen in other parts of the world. For the thunderclouds which are built over the rainforest are titanic, and they deliver in splendid fashion the lightning and rainstorms which have given us this night a truly epic light show. In comparison, the rains are gentle and fall consistently for hours until the clouds have spent their last bits of moisture and the sun burns off the remaining vapor. You get a sense of the balance in this yin and yang of sun and water. When it's over and the sun reappears, the jungle and river life return in all forms. The river Boto and its pup play by the river's edge just outside of camp, a not uncommon sight. We take the afternoon to visit the local schoolhouse, actually a caboclo home. Making do is a place to teach basic skills of writing and reading to the children of the XIXUAU. Celine is on loan from England, here for several months to educate the children in exchange for room and board. Outside daily life offers no distraction, as the children are eager to use their minds in a challenging new way. A little monkey rescued from the jungle lives here within this caboclo household. Shy and feeling rather unsure, she is becoming part of the family.
Nika!
Nika!
She'll look up at you, and then as soon as she sees that you're looking at her, she'll put her head down again. So sweet.
Life here is remarkably simple. There is little struggle in daily life, and people help one another in a truly cooperative way.
That was her fun.
5-hour trip up the Amazon River, 3 boats, 10 people.
On this overnight trip, we find a most amazing discovery. Here's Chris Clark on the giant river otter.
The giant river otter, the Pteronura brasiliensis, is endemic to South America. It used to be present almost all over South America, but it's now limited to a few areas like the Pantanal. It's the most endangered mammal in South America.
We discover a baby otter, perhaps only days old. The otter family is out hunting, and this baby has wandered out of the den. In distress, our guide João uses otter calls to attract the baby down to the boat, where we can give assistance. Once in the boat, Danny takes care to make the otter feel safe.
Mama give you food. She's lost. She's too small to be lost. She was screaming, so we found her. Now we're gonna find some other otters, and we'll give to them.
The baby otter is a gentle animal and begins to rest comfortably in Danny's arms.
Good, we found the mothers.
If it's not her mother,
Yeah?
they won't take care of her. So we
João continues to make otter calls to attract the band of adults to our boat. João brings us closer to the family to give the baby every chance of reuniting with the adults. Danny lets the little one into the water where it can find some protection from the strong current of the river. The baby calls out to the adults, and they in turn are calling to her. They are close to each other, but they cannot see one another. In an attempt to bring them closer, João is using otter calls and a splashing noise mimicking the sound of a distressed fish. The adults have recovered the baby, and Danny gives the good news to the second canoe.
happy! She got back to their parents.
Meanwhile, back at camp, Shani and Chris look for Caiman. Our intention is to capture a Caiman or two for a closer look at these fantastic predators. Lucifer is spotted off in the distance. She is 12 feet in length and queen of the XIXUAU. Later that day, our guides, in a successful bid, have brought back 2 Caiman for us to photograph. These Caiman are remarkably still and patient with their captors, allowing us to get very close with cameras. We will take them to Bird Beach to release them back into the water. On the beach, they allow us to handle them. They behave with a remarkable lack of aggression, perhaps knowing that running for it just won't do with their short lizard legs.
Put it in the natural element.
Ja,
Our sandbar beach is a recreational park during our stay. Soccer field, sanctuary, and playpen for our little feline friend. At long last, our prehistoric friend senses a chance at freedom and comes alive in full sprint. He tires before reaching the water and pauses to catch his breath. Sensing no further danger, he walks slowly into the waiting river. And in an instant, he is gone. Caiman are no strangers to Bird Beach. As these tracks show, Caiman come to steal the eggs which lay so accessible in the sand. Their only protection is camouflage, which helps a great deal against the onslaught of the caiman. For even in this sanctuary of sand, the hunter and the hunted coexist. In a perfectly balanced environment, there is little which remains unused. An indigenous butterfly lands to feed on the remaining egg yolk left from the caiman. As our day comes to an end, we have a greater understanding of the endless cycle of seasons, and we consider the delicate balance that exists here in this temporary beach. We arrive in our overnight camp around 5 in the afternoon. We set up a simple tarpaulin to shelter us from any rain and hang hammocks for sleeping. Curiously, our guide João sleeps on the jungle floor without any bedding. Later, he tells Danny that in doing so, he is a part of the nature, not just a visitor to it. We enjoy a meal of fire-cooked fish and bed down for an early night. Sleeping out here is a peaceful experience and provided a greater sense of jungle life. Morning is eerie. I can hear the howler monkeys with their territorial cries. The dampness in the air is heavy and warm, and as the others sleep, I feel that I am being watched. I can see no eyes, yet I know my presence is known to the animals that live here. As we head into the jungle, the oppressing humidity makes it clear that the best time for a jungle walk is indeed 7 a.m. João leads the way in what has to be the most difficult of places to determine direction. And before long, we are being shown some of the treasures of the rainforest. The rubber tree is first.
This is the substance they put in. They boiled and become totally black and becomes a glue. They glue the canoe with that.
It takes little time to become dehydrated in the jungle. The heat and full dress used to guard against clinging insects takes its toll. And before long, João is looking for a water liana, the hanging branch that is full of fresh water. We all take a drink of this remarkably cool and exceptionally clean water.
Want to try? Good. That's cool. This water is good for stomachache. If you have you're feeling like sick and nauseous, you drink this water, you get rid of it. So this moss, if you have a cut, you take it off and you put on it over it, stops bleeding. It's very good if you have a cut or a wound.
As we left the jungle, we had gained a greater understanding of the jungle's diversity. We had seen a microcosm of its life, experienced a small part of the totality, and yet been affected by its subtle importance to our daily lives back home.
What? How's the Amazon trip for you?
Spiritual.
Almost a
It's going to the sky, to the heaven. Is getting in touch with Mother Earth and God. And is knowing a lot about simple life, all the things that we are afraid normally, like little snakes and animals. They're not that dangerous. They don't even show up. We have to go and chase them and hide to be able to find them. It's so hard to find them. They're afraid of us. So we just need to be careful to not step on them, because then they will be afraid. But I'm more in love with the nature than God now.
You know what's amazing? I have absolutely no idea where we are, whether we're heading home or going away. It's so difficult to tell your direction or what river you're in.
Yeah.
It seems like this is a different way than when we went,
Yeah.
but it's probably not. But to me, it seems like a totally different river, like we went up and out and back. I mean, my sense of where we've been and where we're going is not at all what we are doing, I'm sure.
While we paddled back to camp, Danny and I reflected on our trip and felt that we had paused for a moment in time and seen with new eyes the timelessness of nature, recognized what for tens of thousands of years has always been. This slowly evolving, adapting, and continuously changing environment is extraordinary, yet one must be open to its influence to truly be affected by it. In the industrialized nations, our perspective is often short-sighted. We live too much in the day, think too little about the implications of our choices as consumers. Since the beginning of time, mankind's quest to improve his life may in the end provide the path to his own destruction. Here in XIXUAU, people live with a respect for Mother Nature, not in conflict with her. In this place called Amazon lives the greatest concentration of life forms, both plant and animal, of anywhere in the world. So rich is the air, the water, and the sunlight that literally all of life as we know it had its genesis in this environment. Man should not burn this place, nor take its resources to excess, for this is an essential place where the universe creates life. The Amazon's greatest gift is the message it provides to us. It provides an understanding of where we came from, who we are, and more importantly, where we may be going. We've jeopardized the delicate balance on Earth, and the Amazon shows us how perfect that balance can be. If we can change something in our lives, it should be to live more peacefully, act more carefully, use our resources more conservatively and consciously. Ultimately, we are all part of the same world, and as individuals, we can and do make a difference. Our lives are dramatically linked to each other and to our planet. Our actions today will affect our tomorrow, and they are not easily taken back.
A Brazilian song
Sure.
about Amazon?
Sure. Perfect.
Okay. Vejam essa maravilha de cenário. É episódio relicário que o artista, num sonho genial, escolheu para esse carnaval. E o asfalto como passarela será a tela. Brasil em forma de aquarela, passeando pelas cercanias do Amazonas, conheci vastos seringais. No Pará é a ilha de Marajó, e na velha cabana do Timbó
Caminhando ainda um pouco mais, deparei com lindos coqueirais. Estava no Ceará, terra de Irapuã, de Iracema e Tupã. Brasil, dessas nossas verdes matas, cachoeiras e cascatas, de um colorido sutil. E esse céu lindo de anil, emoldura em aquarela o meu Brasil. Lá, 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 lá.